What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. Coming to you with a quick video. We're going to talk about the Sixth Man of the Year award. This award, to me, is getting closer and tighter. You have defenders, you have scorers, you have playmakers, you have players like Zach Randolph and Greg Monroe. They can give you points and rebounds, including Enes Kanter, but he might start in New York, so he might not be eligible to be picked. But I want to talk about a lot of guys I'm a fan of, and a lot of guys I feel like have a chance at winning the Sixth Man of the Year. I think Enes Kanter, if he doesn't start, he continues to put up 14 and 6, 14 and 7, 11. He always scoring double figures and getting close to 6 to 7 rebounds. If his team can win, or he can continue to put up stats better than Lou or Jamal Crawford scoring wise, he might have a legitimate chance at being the Sixth Man of the Year candidate. The rebounds are there, the assists is there, the field goal percentage is there, the everything is there. Besides, he doesn't score that many points because he doesn't get over 30 minutes. That's what you will need to have an opportunity to win Sixth Man of the Year. You had to get like 25 to 30, maybe 32 minutes. If you get minutes like that, you have a huge opportunity to win the Sixth Man of the Year. Greg Monroe averaged 11 and 6 just last year. I feel like he is a huge candidate because they're going to need him even more coming off that bench since Barry coming back. Chris Middleton going to be fresh for the season. You have Yanni, a great playmaker and a guy that does need help when it comes to switching. And Greg Monroe can post up still. He can knock down the elbow jumper every once in a while. He loves to get to the free throw line. He's going to grab you 6 to 7 boards off the bench, particularly when they need him most or if somebody get injured. He always steps up and put up solid numbers. He may not have been the answer for what the Bucks needed, but he has been a solid pickup since they got him, and he has accepted his role off the bench, and he has been playing well off the bench and putting up Sixth Man of the Year numbers. Jamal Crawford, his field goal percentage is always the worst part about him. He comes in and jack up a lot of shots. But one thing I say about Jamal Crawford is the Timberwolves really need his help this year. They only really got Taj Gibson, Gorgui Dieng. One of those gonna start. Maybe Taj Gibson. I think they say he gonna start, which means Gorgui Dieng gonna be coming off the bench. Not only is Gorgui Dieng gonna come off the bench, Jamal Crawford's gonna come off the bench. But I don't really see Minnesota as a 9 to 10 deep team. To me, I feel like they have NBA quality players, but as far as it goes, as NBA players making an impact on the game, I feel like only Gorgui, Taj, or Jamal Crawford can make a huge impact on the game that warrants them a Sixth Man of the Year award. So I feel like Jamal Crawford, since they don't have a bench and they don't have the shooting, especially from the three-point line, I feel like Jamal Crawford can come in and be like, okay, let me knock down some spot up threes, let me get a couple elbow jumpers, let me get a couple isolation, let me get a couple pick and roll. He can rack up 15 to 16 points because they're going to need him to come off that bench and bring a lot of energy, a lot of scoring, and of course some 3-4 assist games where he's going to have to be the playmaker. And that puts a lot of pressure on Jamal Crawford because he is getting older, but he's been doing this his whole career, and all he has to do is come off the bench and play his game, and he should be fine, and he should put up the stats, and he's going to be a candidate. Eric Gordon, I picked Eric Gordon last year. I know a lot of y'all seen my NBA breakdown on Eric Gordon. I feel like playing in Houston, he was going to stay healthy because he didn't have to handle the ball as much. He didn't have to make all these tough shots and try to knock down late second shot clock shots. Obviously, it worked out because James Harden had the ball majority in his hand, which means it doesn't make Eric Gordon have to play too hard like he had to do on the Pelicans that kept them injured. He went to the Rockets and became a knockdown spot up three-point shooter. He knocked down some layups. He'd come off some screens, get some backdoor cuts, do some pick and roll every once in a while, and he will always do the bailout threes in general. Anytime he got the ball, he was just chucking. And that means he's going to put up a lot of offensive numbers just because he can come off the bench, play his game, and knock down open shots and take shots in general, which leads to more points, and the more points, including from the three-point line, the more chance you have winning the Sixth Man of the Year. But I felt like he was going to have a way better season than the other seasons because he didn't have to do much but be a role player And he was able to sell in that role last year, and he was able to win the Sixth Man of the Year, just like I predicted. A guy that always get the credit but never wins is Andre Iguodala. He puts up the assist number, he puts up the rebound numbers. He guards the opponent best player. Sometimes he guards small forwards too, and even sometimes he guards point guards when he switches. And the guy has tenacious defense. He goes after it. He plays hard. He can strip you. He can play in the passing lanes. He can knock down the spot up three. He can knock down some mid range. He can shoot in the corners. He can get to the paint. He can get out in transition, get some layups and some dunks. And even though his free throw ain't that good, he still can get to the free throw line because he still is athletic even for his size. And I have to give him credit. He's been relevant. His numbers been going down. They might not need him as much this year because they do have Caspi. They do have Nick Young that's gonna come off that bench too. So they might not need him as much as they needed him the last couple years. But as long as he's on a minute, he's gonna be effective offensively and defensively. So he should get some credit for that. Rudy Gay is one of the guys that if he does start, he might be a stretch four. But if they start a team like LaMarcus and Paul Gasol like they did last year, that means Rudy Gay gonna come off the bench and he can fill in for Kawhi Leonard anytime Kawhi Leonard gets injured or need a day off. They can always just throw Rudy Gay in there and he'll knock down some threes. He's not as good as Kawhi, but he can score that basketball. He might be a black hole still, but he still put up numbers and produce, and his numbers are efficient enough where he's a volume scorer and he's a solid three-point shooter. Even though he don't take that many, he showed that he can still knock them down at a good clip when he does take them. They're gonna need him to do a lot, definitely from the scoring perspective, but they're gonna need him to be effective and to always be ready. Because Rudy Gay, he can be hot and cold sometimes. And with Greg Popovich, he's going to put him in positions where he's going to get easy opportunities, easy shots. And the fact that he can shoot, it makes him even more versatile. And the fact that he can play the 2, the 3, or the 4, depending on the lineup and the players that you have on the court, makes him be like, okay, maybe Rudy Gay can have a solid season with Greg Popovich. And if he does that, and he's still winning with the Spurs, he's going to have a huge opportunity to be Sixth Man of the Year. And the last person I got to talk about, well, that's about it for me. I like Brandon Knight coming off that bench for Phoenix. He was injured last year, but he still was able to average double-digit points. He is a guy that's going to be instant offense, come off the bench, get to the paint, knock down some threes, knock down some mid-range, come off some screens, get to the free throw line, get some transition opportunities. And Brandon Knight is a guy that he can produce and put up the numbers too, especially with a team like Phoenix where they're continuing to improve and they like to play their starters. And when he comes back, he should be able to get double figures, get at least 2 to 3 assists, about 1 to 2 rebounds, and he can average like 11 to 12 to 13 points a game. He's going to be having the opportunity to be a sixth man, regardless if they win or not, just because he can put up numbers in a heartbeat. And they might want to trade him, so they might give him the minutes, so that way they can have cap space to give Devin Booker the max, because they won't be needing Brandon Knight anymore since they got Booker and Bledsoe. But if they want to get rid of Bledsoe, they always will have Brandon Knight. I think Bledsoe is better than Brandon Knight, obviously. But you still do need a punch off the bench. And until they can move Brandon Knight or until his contract is over, he still can produce offensive numbers. He's not a bad defender either. He's not the best playmaker. He's not the best knockdown shooter, but he plays with a lot of heart, and he loves to come off and just go right to the scoring, just be a scoring punch. So if I had to pick a sixth man of the year, I'll go with Rudy Gay, especially if he's not going to start. He's coming off an Achilles injury, but he's a guy that's going to get pretty good minutes at a lot of different positions. And the fact that he doesn't really be athletic, sometimes he just hit mid-post pull-up jumpers, get to the paint every once in a while, get to the free throw every once in a while, get some transition every once in a while, knock down some corner and spot up threes. He's going to get a lot of that in San Antonio. The floor going to be more open. He's going to have more space, and they can give him more room to go one-on-one, just like they do with Kawhi Leonard. And Rudy Gay is damn near unguardable when he has a one-on-one mismatch or a one-on-one opportunity. Even with the Achilles, it might slow him down, but the fact that he doesn't have to do too much in the San Antonio offense, and he always going to get majority of his shots going to be easy, he can always just put up numbers just because everybody on the team in the floor spacing, he's going to get a lot of easy opportunities throughout the season. And the fact that he can still rebound, he can still get at least 2 to 3 assists, he can put up about 12 to 15 points off the bench. That's a lot, but he still can put at least 12 to 13, and it should be easy because he averaged 18, 19 his last season in Sacramento. So he can still play. He can still produce. They're just going to need him to play within a role and play within a team concept. And I think he can do that because he did a little bit in Memphis. But if Rudy Gay doesn't come off the bench, then I will have to pick Jamal Crawford. But if Rudy Gay comes off the bench, I'm riding with Rudy Gay. And that's because they need him more because their bench is not that deep. So Jamal Crawford winning 4 times, but if Rudy Gay come off the bench, I'm sticking with that pick. Let me know who you guys think gonna be 6th man of the year. Who really deserve it? Did I miss somebody? Did I sleep on somebody? Or did I just forget somebody in general? Or you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. The link will be in the description and in the comment section below. And check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. The link will be in the description and in the comment section below. Click the link, it's sent to the website. Click the link, it's sent to my Facebook page. All I'm asking you guys to do is like the Facebook page to show support. Dwyane Wade Basketball Analysis signing out. And let me know what you guys think about the 6th Man of the Year award this year.